Hi all, welcome to JJ Coders. In this video, we will develop a C program to sort the values in the array. To do so, in the VS Code, I am creating a C program named sortArray.c. At the top of the program, I am including the header file stdio.h to use the printf statement. And then I am creating the main function of the program. Within the main function, I am declaring the integer variables I, j, temp, and then an integer array named numbers with the size of 5, and I'm giving the value 3, 8, 4, 2 and 5 as values, and following it I'm adding a for loop to display the current values of the array. And to sort the array, I'm creating a for loop which will run from I equal to 1 to I equal to 4, and within this for loop I'm adding another for loop which will run from j equal to I plus 1 to j equal to 4. And then within the for loop j, I am adding if condition which will check numbers of I is greater than numbers of j. And if that condition true, I am storing the value of numbers of I inside temporary variable. And then I am storing the value of numbers of j to numbers of I. And in the next line, I'm storing the value of temp to numbers of j. This process is called swapping. We have seen how to swap values of two variables in our previous example program. And after this sorting logic, I'm again printing the current values of array using a for loop. And finally, at the end of the main function, I'm adding return 0 to close the program. Let's save the program, and to compile it, I'm opening the VS Code terminal window by pressing Ctrl J, and I'm typing gcc space sortArray.c and then pressing enter to compile it. And then to run the program in the same terminal window, I'm typing /a.exe and then pressing enter. And from the output, you can see initially before sorting, the actual array values got printed, and then after sorting, values of the array got printed. Now let's see how this program got executed. At the starting of the program, the memory location for the variables I, j, temp and numbers array are allocated in the memory location. And after executing the line number 2, you can see values for the array numbers got assigned to its specific memory location. And from line number 4 to line number 7, a printf will print array before sorting, and then a for loop with value I equal to 0 to I equal to 4 will be executing 5 iterations and will be printing the value of numbers array from the index 0 to 4. And in the program, from line number 9 to line number 17 is the algorithm to sort the array. The logic is very simple. We will take the first index of the array and we will compare it to the next indexes one by one, and if our first index having the value greater than the values in the other index, we will swap it. We will do it from index 1 to index 3. Initially, when the value of I equal to 0, value of j will be 1, and we will compare the value number of 0 with number of 1, which is 3 is greater than 8. It is false, so swap won't happen. And in the next loop of the j, the value of j is 2, and the program will check numbers of 0 is greater than numbers of 2, which is 3 greater than 4, which is false, and the swap won't happen. And then in the next loop, when j becomes 3, the program will check numbers of 0 is greater than numbers of 3, which is 3 is greater than 2, which is true. So the swap will happen, and 2 will be moved to numbers of 0 and 3 will be moved to numbers of 3. And then in the next iteration of the j, the value of j will be 4. So the comparison will be numbers of 0 is greater than numbers of 4, which is 2 is greater than 5, and it's false. So swap won't happen. And finally, when j becomes 5, the loop of j will be stopped and I will start its next iteration with the value I equal to 1. At this state, you can see we have find the smallest number from the array, which is 2, and we have moved it to the 0th index of the array, which is the first position of the array. And for the second iteration of the loop I, we will find the second smallest number of the array as we did in the first iteration. Now the value of I is 1 and the value of j is 2, which is I plus 1. And now we have to compare numbers of 1 with numbers of 2, which is 8 is greater than 4, and the condition is true, so the swap will happen. 8 will be moved to numbers of 2 and 4 will be moved to numbers of 1. And in the next loop, numbers of 1 will be compared to numbers of 3, which is 4 is greater than 3, and it is true, so the swap will happen. So 3 will be moved to numbers of 1 and 4 will be moved to numbers of 3. And in the next iteration, the j will become 4. Now we will compare numbers of 1 with numbers of 4, which is 3 is greater than 5, and it is false, so the swap won't happen. And when the j becomes 5, the j loop will stop its iteration and the I will start its next iteration with the value I equal to 2. At this state, you can see we have found the second smallest number in the array, which is 3, and we have moved it to the first index of the array. And now we are going to do the same thing for the second index of the array. Now the value of I is 2 and j starts its iteration with I plus 1, which is 2 plus 1, 3. So the if condition will compare numbers of 2 with numbers of 3, which is 8 greater than 4. The condition is true and the swap will happen. And then the numbers of 2 will be compared to numbers of 4, which is 4 is greater than 5. The condition is false, so the swap won't happen. And the j will stop its iteration when it became 5, and the I will start its next iteration with the value I equal to 3, and j will start its loop with I plus 1, which is 3 plus 1 is 4. Now the program will compare numbers of 3 with numbers of 4, which is 8 greater than 5. The condition is true and the swap will happen. 8 will be moved to numbers of 4 and 5 will be moved to numbers of 3. And when j becomes 5, the j loop will stop again. At this state, you can see we have already sorted the numbers in array. And now the I will start its next iteration with the value I equal to 4. And as usual, the j will be I plus 1, which is 4 plus 1, 5. So the loop won't happen because the condition fails for j. And then the I will become 5 and the condition fails for I too. The entire loop will be stopped and the program will be moved to the line number 19 and started printing the new values of the array. And from the output, we can see the sorted array values got printed. This is how the program sorted the values in the array. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. Also please subscribe if you are new to this channel.